All right, welcome my friends. Mike Walker back with you with a brand new module. Welcome to Module 5. Congratulations for getting here. You've traversed an amazing amount of information and now it's time to get to work. All right, so let's just really quickly though recap your journey so far because you truly have come a great way, and I want to just acknowledge that and make sure that we have true clarity as to where we've been, where we are now, and now where we are headed into this brand new module. All right. So module number 1, we really focused on mindset, unlocking success, making sure that you are primed and ready for this journey in the first place. And you're here listening to me now. So that would speak to the fact that you've most likely completed that module, obviously, and that you have hopefully implemented some of the training and the mindset that Taylor shared with you in that one. Really incredible stuff. Honestly, and this is not an overstatement, if you deploy a lot of the information that he shared with us in Module 1, it's truly life-changing. It really is. It will set the trajectory for your success, not just in the short term, but the long term as well. So hopefully you've been staying consistent with that. That truly is the key to unlocking it, is staying consistent and turning those mindsets and paradigms into true habits. So they just become your fundamental and operational just practice every single day. All right. And then we went into the messaging. We really covered your strengths, your interests. We used the worksheets and the homework to draw out what it is that you have experience doing, what it is you're most interested in solving in the marketplace, what types of people and problems or issues that you're wanting to help with. We used that messaging to really pull it all together and get clear on our initial hypothesis of what we believe we could bring to the value to the market with the most value, right? And then we got clear on the actual client and we validated the offer. We brought our hypothesis, our variations of the different offers and services that we intend to provide, brought them to the market and validated it. How did we do that? We engaged with the market. We got out there. We started seeking out, the truth. Basically, we're playing detective, right? So at this point, I really want to encourage you, because we're going to go straight into going to work here in the next module. And I want to make sure that you have actually implemented these steps and that you have, in fact, validated the offer. You've gotten the market to tell you, based on communication with them, that yes, these are the problems, these are the goals, these are the solutions I'm actively looking for. All right. So it's very, very important that we've gotten to that point in this place in the program. If not, simply go back and remember, like we've talked about before, it's all about iteration, not scrapping it and starting all over. It's about iterating it slowly and surely, just making improvements until you unlock that connection between what it is that you're offering and what the market is asking for. And then lastly, we just wrapped up Module 4, your offer, pricing, and positioning, everything that Taylor got you set up for so that you can truly have something to bring to the market. And that is exactly, my friends, where we are headed right now. Module 5, launch mode, strategies for generating leads and selling your services. Yes, that's right. We're going to start getting revenue generating activities, what I call MMAs, money making activities, straight into practice. All right. So after completing Module 5, you will have an expert level strategy for marketing your services and standing out in the crowded marketplace. This is going to be a combined module between Taylor and myself, and I'm really excited to do that because we're going to leverage all his background and experience, all my background and experience, and we're going to bring them together for you in just one powerhouse of a module. Rest assured that by the time you're done with this module, you will absolutely be set up for success and being able to sell your offer, your services to the marketplace effectively, confidently, and consistently. Okay? Awesome. Let's move forward. So personal branding basics, that's what we're going to focus on here in lesson 1 of Module 5. This is a critical component because this is how you are going to be perceived in the marketplace. This is what you're doing to show up in your environment in the market. So lesson 5.1, what we're going to cover, the importance of first impressions, cross-platform branding, and then your digital business card. We're going to talk about profile setup guides that I've created for you to really simplify this process and make sure that you're showing up sharp, ready for action, and ready for the next steps that we're going to go into here as we quickly get into Module 5 and getting you into the marketplace selling your services. All right, let's move forward. Here's a great one by Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, of course. A brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. You earn a reputation by doing hard things well. Now, I picked this quote for a very specific reason. You'll notice that it says, a brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. Well, here's the interesting component about consulting, about coaching and educating, right? You are your brand. So not only is your brand you are your brand, they are interchangeable. And so I want you to really understand that as we present ourselves, as we go out into the marketplace, we need to be aware of the fact that we are our brand and we are going to become known as the company. And so it's critical that we understand that we embrace it, and that we position ourselves for success. And that's exactly what this module is all about. So first, let's dive into those first impressions, the importance of first impressions specifically. Now, I got to tell you, when I go out and I first start working with clients, I typically find their online presence looks like this, just a bunch of random pieces of information spread out all over the place, right? With very little connectivity. It's very hard to tell and distinguish them from one platform to another. And it's just messy. It doesn't look like it's been thought out, right? And that's what we're going to fix in this training here. Your online presence can play a significant role in how you are perceived in the marketplace. Remember, guys, you could have the best message in the world, you could have the best service or outcome in the world, but if people can't get past how you are presented, if they can't understand what it is that you're offering, if it's not clear, if your message isn't resonating, if it's not standing out in the crowded marketplace, you're not going anywhere, right? And so it's very, very critical that we have a strong representation for ourselves, that the quality of our online presence is matched to the quality of our service or offer that we're providing. They need to be synonymous. Number 2 here, dedicate some time towards getting a quality headshot. You know, these days, it's very important to understand that people buy from those that they like, know, and trust. And people buy from people they know, like, that they feel that there's a connection to. You know, if you have profiles on social media or whatever platforms, and it's just some random photo or blank or whatever it is, you have to know that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. They need to see you. You are your brand, remember. So you don't have to go spend lots of money on this. I mean, literally hold up your cell phone, take a nice, well-lit photo, but make sure that it is representative of the quality of your product, and therefore make sure that it is professional looking. Doesn't have to look stiff. You don't have to be wearing a tie if that's not your brand, but I'm just saying that you want to look good. You want to, present yourself effectively and professionally. And so take the time, again, just to snap off a quick headshot. You don't have to go and spend a lot of money with professional photos. I'm just suggesting that you have a nice headshot that you can use across different platforms. We'll be talking more about that in a minute. Number 3 here, deploy your who, what, how statement. This is your brand. This is your slogan. This is what you get known for. So you want this statement to be deployed across all of your different platforms, in your email signature, on your social media, in the emails you write. You want this statement to become associated to this, your solution, your offer that you're providing. You want it to become connected to you and your image so that you become one. People identify with what it is that you do. They identify you by your image and by what you're presenting online, the content you're putting out. You want these things to all feel like they're very connected and not like this, mess of puzzle pieces. They feel connected and nice, clean image and understanding of how these things are all connected. I'd also suggest identifying fonts and colors that you will use in your marketing. This is a very nuanced detail, but I will tell you, it's these little details that can make a significant difference. When you, again, are in a crowded marketplace, every little detail matters, and all these little details add up to paint a very big, nice, clear picture of what it is that you do. I'm always very aware of when people are sending out messages, when they're sending emails, when they're posting images, when they're creating graphics for slide decks or webinars or whatever it is that they're doing. I'm very aware and pay attention to their consistency and use of colors and fonts, because what it suggests is their attention to detail. All right, now you can go down this road. There's plenty of experts that specialize in this area, and if you want to engage with that, that's fine. But I'm just saying, from a simple standpoint of just staying consistent, you may want to look at, what kind of colors and font works you're going to deploy across your different areas of marketing, because we're going to get out into the big wide world of marketing here very quickly in Module 5. And I want to make sure that you've put some thought into how all these things work together. All right, now cross-platform branding, what does that mean? Well, let's start off with some of the basics. I would highly encourage you, if at all possible, that your name be used for your brand, or your company name is consistent across the platforms. Meaning that if I go to facebook.com/your name, it shows up the same way on Instagram, and it shows up the same way on LinkedIn. It shows up on the same way on YouTube and all the other platforms that you may be using out there. Okay, this is just a few. But I'd really, really encourage you, if at all possible, make this name consistent across all platforms. That alone says a lot about somebody. But if you're _1, my favorite, team on this one, and then your, hashtag, your cat's name on another, and just randomness, right? That's not going to work for you in your favor. Okay. So be very aware that every little detail matters when it comes to presenting yourself online, and starting off with a nice clean handle like what we're looking at here says a lot. And it's very, even almost on like a subconscious level, people will pick up on the fact that, wow, this person's got it together. They're well presented across platform. It says a lot. Now, here are just some examples of mine. I'm not by any means the world's best example of this, but you will see that at least there's been some thought to how things are being presented. You'll notice that there's 2 and only 2 variations of headshots being used. The way that my name is being used cross-platform is fairly consistent across the board. And so, again, is this a total game changer? Is this going to revolutionize your business? Probably not, but it's one piece of that puzzle that matters. All these individual small pieces of the puzzle come together to form a really nice cohesive presentation for yourself online. So you'll notice we're using the name, we're using the same imagery, the colors are all fairly synonymous. The branding statement below, all these things come together to form a nice consistent picture. So if someone's over on Twitter and then they see me on Facebook, or they see me on LinkedIn or Instagram, there's a nice cohesive feel to it. All right. So I'd highly, highly encourage you to do the same. It definitely makes a difference. Now let's move on to some setup guides that I've produced for you guys. This, again, if you most likely, I'd imagine most of the people here already have LinkedIn profiles. They've already have Facebook profiles, and that's fine. What I would suggest though is just give these a look. I've produced these for you for a reason, because I want to make sure that you have clarity on cleaning them up if you already have them, just optimizing them, and making sure that you have some of the best practices in place. So there are 2 setup guides. There's this one for LinkedIn, and then we have another one here for Facebook. Okay. And again, most people in most cases will already have their profiles built out, and that's great. But I would highly encourage you to make sure that they are cleaned up, they're optimized as best as they can, because this truly is your first impression for most people as you begin to put yourself out in the marketplace. You want to make sure that you have everything going for you possible, and having cleaned up profiles and a consistent look across the different platforms will really set you apart from the amateurs. Okay. So you go through those: LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, use them as you see fit. And then the next steps are pretty simple, but the recap, let's hit this first. The quality of your message and offer can be magnified or muted by your online presence. Let me hit that one more time. The quality of your message and offer can be magnified or muted by your online presence. So what does that mean? Well, you're obviously intent on bringing a quality service, an offer to the marketplace, and you intend to be compensated well for that, right? Well, the quality of your online presence will either magnify that. It's going to showcase like, wow, they show up just like they produce, right? Or it's going to mute your online presence. Your online presence will actually bring down your offer. You won't be perceived as a professional in the market if you haven't invested at least a little bit of time here cleaning things up, making sure that you look sharp across the various platforms you intend to engage on. All right. Show up like a professional. You wouldn't show up to a job interview with your hair all askew and, wrinkles in your clothes, right? Well, the same is online. So the online presence, you want to look professional, sharp, and thoughtful and detail oriented. And then lastly, be authentic. If you don't drive a Lambo, don't stand in front of a Lambo. If you're not flying private jets all the time, don't stand in front of a private jet. See what I'm saying? Like, be authentic. People can pick that up a mile away. So I would just encourage you, be authentic, be real, smile, make people understand that you are a real human and that you care about them through your messaging, and that you're showing up like a true professional. It'll make a really, really big difference. All right, guys. Awesome. Let's move on. We're going to get straight into the marketing stuff. And now what we're going to be talking about is activity versus productivity. I want to make sure you have true understanding of what it looks like, what the difference is, so you get the most out of your time. You get the best return on effort as we get into the marketing phases for your brand, for your offer. And so prior to moving forward though, build out and optimize your profiles, clean these things up, because we're going to get straight into the world of marketing and selling your services. Okay, guys? Awesome. We'll see you in the next one.